Warriors, Workers and Worshippers. By Theophilus Ruse. Chapter 8. From Ekron to Beth-shemesh, 1 Samuel 6:18. To be rid of the burdensome ark was now the desire of the Philistines after retaining it for 7 months. They seek the advice of their priests and diviners, who wisely suggest that it should not be sent away empty, but be accompanied by a trespass offering. In order that it may be known by their being healed from the plagues why the hand of God had been upon them. This advice is strictly followed. A new cart was prepared to carry it, and 2 milch kine on which yoke had never been laid were harnessed to it. The trespass offering, consisting of 5 golden mice and 5 golden tumors, images of the plagues with which they had been chastened, were placed in a coffer by the side of the ark on the cart. And the kine left to themselves as to their course. It was a most ingenious test. The 2 kine were tied to the cart and their calves shut up at home. If the kine took the way to Beth-shemesh, on the coast of Israel's territory, then God has done us this great evil, they said, but if not, then we shall know that it is not his hand that smote us, it was a chance that happened to us. God condescends to submit to this test. And the kine with no driver visible to human eyes turn not to their shut-up calves, but contrary to all natural instincts, take the straight road to Beth-shemesh, lowing as they went, and turned not aside to the right hand or the left, until they came into the field of Joshua the Beth-shemite. Thus God directed his creatures. And the lords of the Philistines who had followed the cart all the way, returned to Ekron satisfied with the proof that it was the hand of God that had been upon them, the gods, and their land. The Lord might allow his people to become subject to their enemies because of their unfaithfulness, but he does not give them up. He even says, "You only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities." Amos chapter 3 verse 2. But he also says, comfort ye my people, saith your God. Isaiah chapter 40 verse 1. It was a serious lapse on Israel's part that led to this captivity of God's ark, but we cannot but notice the difference with which they now regarded the sign of his presence. We are not told here that they had lamented the absence of the ark, but they of Beth-shemesh were reaping their wheat harvest in the valley, and they lifted up their eyes, and saw the ark and rejoiced to see it. And the cart came into the field of Joshua, a Beth-shemite, and stood there, where there was a great stone, probably a landmark. And they clave the wood of the cart and offered the kine a burnt offering unto the Lord, and the men of Beth-shemesh offered burnt offerings, and sacrificed sacrifices the same day unto the Lord. 1 Samuel 6 verses 13 to 15. Such action, on Israel's part, is very beautiful to note. For evidently they did welcome the return of God to his place amongst his people, and the very creatures that had served their Creator in this marked way were now devoted to him in sacrifice. Burnt offerings and peace offerings also accompanied the rejoicings. But their joy was soon turned to sorrow, for the men of Beth-shemesh looked into the ark, and in consequence God smote, see note, a great number of them with death for their impious curiosity. The Lord thus guarded the sign of his presence, and sought to teach them what it meant to have God in their midst. Why they lifted the cover of the ark we are not told, but they must have seen therein the 2 tables of the law, and the law is the ministration of death. 2 Corinthians 3-7. We never read of a priest looking into it, and the word itself gives us no explanation of this terrible chastisement, but the people exclaim, "Who is able to stand before the holy Lord God? And to whom shall he go up from us?" Note. 1 Samuel 6:19 gives the number thus smitten as 50,070. But the New Translation by J. N. Darby gives the number as 70 according to some ancient authorities. This would lead us to infer that the Beth-shemites felt that they had encroached upon the holiness of God. And thus the lesson so bitterly taught was not without a good result. May we learn from it, too, what a real thing it is to have to do with God, while we rejoice that his heart is not alienated from his people, even if he has to teach us again and again what is due to his presence. Learning at the same time also how to serve him in the bonds of Christ. If any man serve me, let him follow me, and where I am, there shall also my servant be. If any man serve me, him will my Father honor. John chapter 12 verse 26. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord has done great things for them. The Lord has done great things for us, whereof we are glad. Psalm chapter 126 verses 1-3. They now resolve to send the ark to Kirjath-Jearim, whither we will follow them.